Hey guys, we're back with another breakdown. The last one went a little bit long, so I'm going to try to keep it moving on this. Today we're doing Justin Fields. Now, I haven't watched this game, but as a native Chicagoan, a lot of my friends from back home have been telling me that Justin Fields finally looked legitimately good. I have my doubts. I don't think that Justin Fields has looked legitimately good in any of his games so far in his career. But there's a first for everything. Let's see if this is one of them. All right, so after the Bears get off to a roaring start with a delay of game on the very first snap of the game, they hit David Montgomery on this easy screen, and David Montgomery takes it for 30 yards. This looks great on the stat sheet for Justin Fields, but I defy you to find me a quarterback who can't make that throw. Those are David Montgomery's yards, not Justin Fields' yards. So we grade it routine, and we move on. Next play. This is kind of a tricky one because it's somewhere in between a routine throw and a bad throw. We're going to call it pedestrian simply because we are being gracious to Justin Fields, somebody that we're low on generally, and we'll keep it moving. Now, here they do a weird little play action, fake pitch, throw it deep guy, and there's pass interference on the play, so there's just nothing we can do. We don't know how this play should have gone. It was interfered with. Justin Fields comes back and actually hits a great throw right there, but Darnell Mooney's not looking. Let's see that play one more time, just because it was real good. You got the curl high-low concept. So the outside receiver runs a curl, the slot receiver just goes deep, and Darnell Mooney just wasn't looking for the ball. Sure, it might have been a little inaccurate, taking a little adjusting, but when you're that open, you can handle such things. Yeah, that's a routine throw. It's a drop by Pettis. It was accurate. So on the Bears' first drive, Justin Fields didn't miss any throws. He's got one great throw and three pedestrian ones. That's good. If he can keep that up and stay on time, this will be a good game for him. All right, so I frankly don't know how the Bears are going to come back down 11 points already, and that does not help. That's not Justin Fields' fault. The center just snaps the ball improperly. I think he was trying to get the defensive line on some form of offsides infraction, but it didn't work, and it caused a fumble and a sack, neither of which are Justin Fields' fault again. So it's a no-fault sack, no fumble, but that was pickable. I'll show you why. So right here, Justin Fields has a little out and slant concept. So this running back 35 is trying to cut like here, and Darnell Mooney, the wide receiver one, is trying to run one of the defensive backs off to the sideline, opening up space. Fields is trying to force it to 35 here through these two defenders, which he should never do. So while it might look like a very inaccurate throw to Mooney, it's not. It's just a very dumb throw because Justin Fields has never actually been a particularly inaccurate quarterback. He's just a particularly poor decision maker and always has been, both slow and bad decisions. So that ball should have gone for 6 the other way. Justin Fields gets bailed out a little bit here. He got screwed over a little bit on the play prior. Everything works out. On 3rd and 11, Justin Fields steps up, avoiding a sure sack, and then gets hit with a sure sack. So that's a no-fault sack and a plus movement. That's good on him to get out of that first rush, but unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. You're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to see my beautiful face and hear my voice in high quality, or do you want the screen recorder that actually works very well? I'm going to guess that you guys want the screen recorder that actually works, and therefore, we're shifting gears a little bit. The Bears come out running. They're trying to shorten this game up. All right, you guys are going to have to make a choice. Do you want to see my beautiful face and hear my voice in the highest of quality, or do you want me to use the screen recorder which actually works? I'm using the screen recorder, which actually works, and therefore you don't get to see me, and the audio gets degraded a little bit, but I don't think that that's the purpose. So if we thought that the Bears were going to have a hard time, coming back from 14-3, 21-3 feels totally insurmountable. And yet, somehow, they do it. So how does it happen? Well, it starts with that first plus move and positive run from Justin Fields to pick up first down on third down. Here, this is not a plus move, it's just a rollout. And at a 4-yard run, we'll call that neutral. That's about as effective as a check down, even if it looks harder or exerts more effort. On 3rd and 7, Justin Fields has time, rolls, plus movement, and throws a great ball to the tight end, which the tight end drops. Now, there was a holding on the play, so I'm not going to grant him the plus pocket movement because I can't tell if I can't tell if his pocket movement was successful or if the hold was successful. Basically, I can't grade that. I can grade the throw, however, which was great. Great play on special teams there, Bears. All right. Bears force a punt. They are still technically alive. How much so? Only Justin Fields can tell. And sure enough, he throws a good, not great, not elite ball downfield to Darnell Mooney. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're thinking, that play was fucking sick. How is that not awesome? How is that not elite? Well, I'll show you why. Now, unfortunately, they're not giving me the replay here, but it's a deep throw. All right, line of scrimmage is the 50. We measure from the line of scrimmage from the 50 to about the 13. So that's a 37-yard throw. It's deep. It's not unreal. If this was a 50-yard throw or maybe a 60-yard throw, I'd probably give him elite just for having the muscle to get the ball out there. But lots of quarterbacks can throw the ball about 30, 40 yards downfield. Additionally, look at this catch. The mere fact that Darnell Mooney is making an awesome catch is an indicator that it probably isn't a great throw. Now, on any given play, there's a certain amount of value added to your team. This can actually be pretty well measured by stats like EPA or even just yardage. This is a high EPA play. An EPA play like this is typically graded elite if it's just a perfect throw by the quarterback, right? And an elite throw is worth 3 slugging points in my opinion. For sake of argument, theoretically, let's say that there are 3 points to dish out for blame on this play. 3 points of commendation. I would say that more of those points should go to Darnell Mooney for making this sick catch than to Justin Fields for making the throw in the first place. Justin Fields makes a good throw, and he deserves credit, but Darnell Mooney deserves a little bit more credit. Look at that catch. Now, just Darnell Mooney right here is running a high-low concept, so Equanimeous St. Brown takes the curl, taking away this outside defender, and then Mooney is just going to run a straight seam go. As you can see here, Darnell Mooney had upfield leverage. He slows down and starts messing with the defensive back because he knew that the ball was underthrown. A perfect ball lands right about where my mouse is here. Outside, upfield, Mooney gets to get under it, catch it, and continue to the end zone. It isn't. Darnell Mooney has to fend off the defender while making the catch. Therefore, more credit goes to Darnell Mooney than Justin Fields. However, we have to give both. That is why I grade it as a solid throw. It is effectively a jump ball to a good receiver who makes a play. All of a sudden, the Bears have some semblance of life. Justin Fields with a positive pocket movement. He rolls, but he gets the ball batted. That's a bad throw. Can't do that. You're already rolling out. Don't put the ball in harm's way. David Montgomery obviates it all. Touchdown. Bears are alive. All right, this game is flying. We're already in the second half, and I know why it's flying. The Bears are trying to lower the amount of snaps in this game to increase the variance. As I say that, Justin Fields makes a great throw to EQ St. Brown. EQ St. Brown, one of my sleepers on the season, a guy I was high on, and all he's done is prove that he's a good X wide receiver when given a shot. You can't really see it here, but Look at all the separation that he created on Patrick Peterson. That's because Patrick Peterson has to respect his size and speed. Justin Fields lasers this ball in there about 15, 20 yards downfield. Ideal. The ball could have been a little bit more outside to be perfect, but it doesn't matter. We're not picking nits, and even a perfect ball probably doesn't net him even a single yard after the catch. It's great. That's as good as you can throw that ball. 2nd and 16, Justin Fields trying to move through his progressions, but he kind of doesn't. You'll notice this guy's going to be open. Justin Fields is looking at his first read, the outside receiver right here, short. He doesn't have it. So he pulls his ball down. He doesn't want to throw the swing pass either, and he starts looking over here. There's nothing easy, so he just runs. He breaks a tackle to make a neutral run. It's about as useful as a check down. And I actually think that this is encouraging because, as I mentioned earlier, Justin Fields struggles with his processing. The reason that he has not broken out yet in the NFL to this point is because he cannot process plays post-snap. It's not that he's inaccurate. A lot of the time, his inaccurate throws or incomplete throws stem from the fact that he is trying to lock onto his receiver, and when it's not open, he will force it anyway. Or, other times, he will find the open receiver, and he just hesitates inexplicably, throws the ball about a full second late, and what was an open receiver and an accurate throw is no longer. It's like everything is moving around him except for him. It's like he's in slow motion, and he doesn't know it. In this game, when he's not seeing things, he's taking off. He's using those legs, his incredible athleticism. There, his first read was open. You'll notice his head does not bob. Watch his head. It does not move an inch. He does not manipulate a single defender. He does not look to another guy. His first read is wide open. He hits that curl. And when Justin Fields has a wide open first read, he's good. Lots of velocity, good accuracy, solid throw. Here, Justin Fields with a plus move to escape. Love that spin move and a positive run to pick up the first down. We'll give that a plus run. See, this little push pass, you could have done that when you were in 8th grade. That's not impressive. I'm not going to grade it. It's not becoming of an NFL quarterback. It's not that it's bad, but it's sub-routine. It's so routine that it's like less than routine. It's automatic. So it doesn't go on the chart. But congrats to Justin Fields for not drastically fucking up the easiest play in football. This sounds like criticism, but I swear to God it's not. Bears go for 2. So that's a routine throw. I mean, he threw a screen, but it didn't work. And that's not really Justin Fields' fault at all. Now, you'll notice the Bears are getting super aggressive here and trying to just stack variance. With the onside kick, the 2-point conversion, and all of the running the ball, what they're trying to do is, knowing that they're the worst team and they should not win this game if everything plays out properly, they're just trying to add chaos to the mix. Reduce the amount of time in the game, slow it down, run the ball a lot, churn clock, try to make as few possessions as possible for both teams, ball control offense. And when you have swing play opportunities, such as an onside kick or a 2-point conversion, they're going for them. Because they're thinking, fuck it. We're down 4 points against a team that we should be down about 10 points to. There's a quarter and a half left of football. If we get a couple lucky breaks, we can win this game. If we play straight up, if everybody plays basic strategy, we are going to lose. So it's almost like a cheat code. They're just trying to change the rules of the game a little bit to give themselves help. And you'll see here, even though Justin Fields is playing really well, they're running the ball. Why? Not because it's more effective, but because they're trying to take time off that clock. This is going to be one of the shortest videos I've done because we're already almost done with the third quarter. Justin Fields with a nice routine throw to Darnell Mooney. It's totally fine. Here's a plus move, and Justin Fields takes off. It's a positive run, but we're not grading this play because it's a hold. You can't grade a running play on a hold. You don't know how it's going to turn out. Unless it's like the most obviously bullshit hold of all time. It's just, it's a non-starter for me. So here Justin Fields eludes pressure in the pocket. Good job. And he hits that flat. I'm not going to say the word, but it starts with a P and you know what it is. I say it too much. It's pedestrian. Here, all the time in the world, Justin Fields eventually gets through his progressions. You'll note how long he stares down his receiver and, like, check it out. Okay, if you're not throwing it deep, you should know by now. Right here, you should see, okay, I'm not throwing it deep, I'm going to lock onto one of my 2 checkdowns. Ball needs to be out here. He takes that extra half second, as he always does, and that limits yards after the catch because defensive backs can close. 4th down, escapes pressure plus pocket move. Positive run. Excellent job. The running plays are smart. We've been over that, but we don't need to watch them. We're here for Justin Fields, not David Montgomery. Here, they just run a quarterback power for 3 yards. I'll grade it as neutral, but it probably should be bad. It's just the kind of play you only run with a running quarterback. It's a bad play. Here, Justin Fields has a plus movement, and look at this ball. That's got to get caught. That's great. I won't say it's elite because an elite ball is to the outside shoulder. Unfortunately, this video only gives us the one view, and I don't want to switch to the other video where I've got multiple. But basically, the safety is allowed to get his hands up here because the ball is a little bit inaccurate. If the ball is just on this outside shoulder, it doesn't even have to be very far away. It just has to be on the outside shoulder. Mooney can have his arms go like this, out and up, instead of over the defender. The defender can't get his hand on it, and it's a much easier catch. Think Santonio Holmes, Steelers versus Cardinals Super Bowl. That would have been a perfect elite throw. Instead, it's just great, but with that field goal, the Bears are in striking distance, and we're already at the 4th quarter. This whole ball control offense thing, it's working. So the Bears get a stop, and this is their chance. They're at midfield, they're down 2 points, all they need is a field goal. So naturally, they're going to try to control the clock, but they are getting a little bit antsy. On 1st down, they run the ball. On 2nd down, they have a longer developing passing play. They keep 5 in for protection, and there's clearly a screen element right here. But Justin Fields rightly realizes it's actually not there. Rather than try to throw the ball downfield, which this play is certainly not designed for, Justin Fields takes off and runs. And that's a really smart move. Now there's a block in the back right there, but by the time the block in the back occurred, it was already about a 15-20 yard run. Great play by Justin Fields. So we're going to give him the plus run, even though the penalty occurred on the play, and we don't know how it would have turned out otherwise. We'll also give him a little modifier because it was a deeper run. If that had been a throw, it would have been a great throw. So you got to grade it like a great throw, even though it was a run. Does that make sense? Bears come out right here. A little RPO, nothing to it. It's not a solid throw because while it goes deeper downfield and it looks pretty because it's so quick, those are actually some of the easiest throws in football. It is fine. Again, here's a little flat. You could argue that that's a bad throw because it didn't get to EQ in the hands. Like, you want that ball up at titty level so you can just grab it, turn, and go. Utilize those blockers, but we'll call it fine. We'll call it pedestrian. We're being gracious to Justin Fields in his breakout game. The running game is stifled, which is kind of sad because the Vikings are a terrible defense. And the Bears settle for a field goal and the lead. Now, having not watched this game yet, but knowing how it ends, I'm going to guess that the Vikings, the much better team, march right the hell down the field and score a touchdown to take the lead. And it couldn't have been any easier. They just do a rugby mush, scrum, shove it in, 11 versus 11 tug of war, except the opposite directions, and Kirk Cousins scores. So now the Bears have 2 minutes to score a touchdown. And you might be thinking, damn, if only the Bears didn't run all that time off the clock earlier in the game. But frankly, the longer this game goes, the better the chance the Vikings win. First down, Fields throws the check down, nothing to it. Remember that these are prevent defenses. A lot of throws are going to be very easy. Again, just throws the screen, nothing to it. Here, Justin Fields does a good job of evading pressure the first time, but not so much the second time. We're not going to blame him for that sack. It's a no-fault sack. He should have got sacked on the first play. The fact that he moved and avoided and got sacked by the second guy, we're not punishing him for that. We will punish him for the fumble, because it's something he's struggled with mightily throughout his career, and it's bad. There's a plus move and a pedestrian throw. Yes, it was deeper downfield. Yes, they got a lot of yards, and yes, it was a huge play, but that's all David Montgomery and prevent defense doing the work. Again, that's what you expect. And unfortunately, that's not what you expect. It really sucks that Emir Marset fought for a couple extra yards in a situation where it probably would have been beneficial for him to just step out of bounds anyway. But let's face facts, the Bears haven't moved the ball down in the red zone very well at all, outside of Justin Fields' legs. So I haven't graded weeks 1 through 4 for a reason. Honestly, up until this point, I hadn't even created one of these composite charts for Justin Fields on this season because he had been so bad. I'm not going to grade somebody who I don't think has a shot at starting next year in the NFL, which is a little ironic because I spent so much time grading Baker Mayfield, but if you watch those videos, you know how I feel about that. Justin Fields has been putrid so far this year. Against San Francisco in a monsoon, he was very, very bad. We'll give him a little grade bump on the assumed grade. Note that these are lowercase because they're placeholders. These are eye test and vibes. They're not game film, so they don't mean as much. We probably got about a D considering the rain. And against Green Bay, I watched that game. I didn't chart it, but I certainly did watch. And it was bad. He was terrible. Against Houston, he relied on takeaways on defense from his defense to stay in the game and eventually win it. And against the Giants, he couldn't do anything against a shorthanded team lacking in defensive playmakers and difference makers that didn't have a quarterback. Now, in this particular game, Justin Fields was elite. I mean, we've already broken down all the plays, but we had the 4 great throws. He had 2 solid throws. That's 6 above average passes. That's 6 positive passes. He had the 12 nothing passes, meh, pedestrian, routine, mundane, commonplace. Is that enough synonyms for you guys? I used to call them meh plays, but then people on Twitter gave me shit because it didn't sound professional. I used to call elite balls wow and cheap plays bitch plays. Now I've dressed it up for you guys, and now people are giving me shit for that, saying I speak like a thesaurus. I'm sorry. I have a verbose diction. My lexicon is expansive. Anyway, pretentiousness and bitchery aside, he only had the 2 bad throws. One was bad, the batted ball when he rolled out. One was interceptable, the one where he tried to force it into double coverage on a little bit of an RPO. It's 90% accuracy. Sure, it was only 20 throws, but 90% accuracy is 90% accuracy. That's really good. Even if you're only throwing pedestrian balls, 90% accuracy is tough. And he was hitting downfield. That's awesome passing. That's elite passing. He took the 1 sack that he shouldn't have, but 2 of those were absolutely not his fault. He had 10 plus pocket moves, and yes, he did fumble once that we blamed him for, another time that was certainly not his fault, as far as I can tell. He also avoided negative runs. He had 4 positive runs, 3 neutral runs, about as effective as a check down. He had no runs where he shouldn't have run or where he lost yardage. It's huge. It was a great game. Now, how predictive do I think it is going forward? I don't know. The Vikings have made kings of a lot of quarterbacks this year. Jared Goff looked amazing against them. Jalen Hurts looked amazing against them. Aaron Rodgers looked terrible against them, but Aaron Rodgers has looked terrible against everybody this year, and that might be an Aaron Rodgers problem. See the other videos to hear more about that. Anyhow, Justin Fields was awesome in this game. It is irrefutable. He was elite on Sunday, October 10th, is it? No, Sunday, October 9th. He was elite. I don't think that it's sustainable because he's shown me one game out of about 16 in which he can be good at all. But this was a great game. You'll note over here I have a stat called Great Plus Games. It's any game where you get a B plus or better. Last year, any game where a quarterback got a B plus or better, they won that game about 60% of the time. And for those of you who like to bet on football games, Great Plus game quarterbacks covered the spread in 59% of games. It's pretty crazy. If you knew going into the game that a quarterback was going to have a B plus game and you just bet $100 on it every week, you'd be walking away with about a month's salary. Now, unfortunately, we can't do that, so be responsible in your bets. However, getting back to the task at hand, Justin Fields was great in this game. Getting back to the task at hand, I don't think that it's predictive of what Justin Fields does going forward simply because he didn't answer my questions in that he didn't throw into tight coverage. He didn't read plays and progress through his reads effectively. He just took off running, and against better defenses, that won't be an option. However, he did show me that he has a solution. I don't know how sustainable it'll be. I don't know how often he'll be able to use it, but he has a solution for the thing that has plagued him, which is his inability to make decisions quick enough and pull the trigger on time. In this game, when he couldn't make the decision, when his first read wasn't there, when things were inconvenient for him, he took off running, and he did it well. If he could do that every game, he never has to become a great processor. He just has to be adequate. Granted, he needs to protect the ball a little better. He only had the one fumble today, but it was on 30 snaps, roughly. He could be better. Bears fans, for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, you have a glimmer of hope at quarterback. Relish it. Next week might not be so generous. We'll see tomorrow against the Redskins. That game's going to suck. I won't be charting it. I will be watching it with family, eating deep dish pizza. I might even wear my Jay Cutler jersey and pretend I care about the Bears for a moment, but I probably won't because it hurts too much. With that, until next time, keep an eye out because I might be breaking down Aaron Rodgers' debacle against the Giants in London town. Asta.